Hi guys, and welcome to the Clash Royale tier list stream. This is, a little bit of a different stream. Not expecting too much from it. Just want to see how a tier list stream goes, to be honest, because, yeah, I might do tier lists in the future for, like, football, for Minecraft, for Roblox, I know some other games. We'll start off, though, with Clash Royale. W's in the chat, guys. So here's the tier list maker thing, of course, on tiermaker.com. That is the way you can make your own tier lists. And yeah, we're going to start ranking Clash Royale cards based on how annoying they are. Also ready for the El Clasico today. Got the Real Madrid jersey on, which is a W. But yeah, let's get started ranking these cards. And hi Alexa, hi Owen, hi Sadgo, hi Swank. I know that was you as Game Journey, W's, and welcome to the stream. So let's get started. So let's get something straight out of the way. There we go. Okay, and also one other one. There we go. So they're immediately out of the way. They're done. We don't have to really discuss a reason why they're at the top of the list right there in the Smash My Monitor category. The rest of the categories are very toxic, sometimes toxic, rarely toxic, and not toxic at all. And the first one that we got here is Berserker. Rarely toxic. Rarely. And hi XX Gunners, welcome to stream. Hope you're doing good. W's. And why are we trusting Swank again? We're not. Hence why Swank's a visitor on the Minecraft streams until the Ender Dragon stream. I'll make him a member just so he can help fight us, the Ender Dragon, Zap. Not toxic. Not toxic. I don't think that's any comparison to being toxic or not. By the way, if you disagree with me, make sure to drop your disagrees in the chat. Say which card you disagree for, and maybe I'll consider moving it. We'll have to wait and see. Snowball, not toxic. And what arena am I? I've played Clash Royale for 9 years since the game released. I've got 2 accounts. One account, my OG one, I haven't paid on or anything. I don't really actually play it anymore because I like paying to win. And on the pay-to-win account, I am in the highest arena in competitive, basically. I used to do competitive, actually. I got to Ultimate Champion, which is cool. Or just below that, I think. But yeah, W's. Hopefully we can compete in Clash Royale eventually if we start streaming it more as well. And, okay, Knight. Sometimes. I don't think Knight's too toxic. I think sometimes. Bro's so good in every game. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. I try to be the GOAT, but I guess I'm not in some games. Not in every game, I don't think. And you have some multiplayer games, but you'll need to be connected to LAN or Bluetooth. That's the problem. Okay, I see. You can list them if you want, Alexa. And there should be a top complete different category for Mega Knight. Yeah, okay, maybe a good idea, actually. Add a row above. Let's go do this. Mega Knight. Okay, there we go. Mega Knight's by itself. Okay. Archers. I don't think archers are toxic. I'm going to be honest. I don't think archers are toxic at all. There's nothing toxic about them. They just don't really do anything. They sort of just die immediately. Yeah, they're not toxic. Minions. Not toxic. I don't think they're toxic either. I think minions, you just place them on the bridge. They do whatever. Not really toxic. Not really toxic. Again, just place them. Goblin Gang, I would say, is toxic. Goblin Gang. I think that's a pretty toxic card. You place that after you go barrel, you place that at the bridge, or you go that at the bridge after a princess. The log comes out, instantly Goblin Gang at tower. I mean, they always get some value. Yeah, that is intoxic. I think they're really spammy and annoying. I just absolutely hate them. And congrats on NASA yesterday. Yeah, W's, NASA. W's. Skeleton Barrel. I think Skeleton Barrel is rarely toxic. The only time I would consider it as toxic is when you get Skeleton Barrel, Mirror Skeleton Barrel, and then you clone that stuff on the tower, blows up, just takes out everyone's things, Yeah, that's the only time I could see it maybe as toxic. I don't really think it is, to be honest. I would really maybe put it at the bottom of rarely toxic. And it's a shooting game. No problem, Alexa. You can suggest a way. Firecracker, get at the top of the list. Get at the top. Okay, no discussion needed. Cannon. Firecracker could actually technically be in here as well, but I'll keep it there. Cannon. I think Cannon is sometimes toxic, but at the bottom of sometimes toxic. I think that it's sometimes toxic by the fact that if someone places, say for example, you get your built push up, you go place pigs at the bridge or something. You place, what else you got? Battle ram. We got battle ram. It's coming in from the bridge. It's going in, and you just see a cannon, right? And you're like, okay, come on. Why are you placing a cannon every time to defend? 2.6 players, specifically, I'm talking about you. And hi, welcome Game Journey to stream, Swank. Can you no longer be visited now? Please play Wrestling Empire. Okay, first of all, W suggestion, Wrestling Empire. And second of all, only visitor until the stream later. So I'll unvisitor you then. And hi, Meowie, you built Ronaldo a grave on Doom SMP. Okay. And can I show it on stream? Yeah, I'll show it on the Minecraft stream later. It's at 9 p.m. Okay, arrows. Rarely. I don't think arrows. How can a spell be okay? How can a spell be toxic? This is toxic. I think this is in the toxic category. I was about to say, how can a spell be toxic at all? I think that the Royal Delivery is the most toxic spell. I think that is such an annoying, just no skill. You just place it on the ground, falls down, just kills everything. I mean, it's pretty toxic, I gotta say. Personally, yeah, I do think it's below Goblin Gang. I think it's toxic, however. And anyone that knows Doom SMP, get on. And predictions on El Clasico. I think Real Madrid win 3-2. That's my prediction. These Skeleton Dragons, I don't think they're ever toxic. I actually think that they're less toxic than these. I do believe that Snowball is the least toxic so far on the list, and I would actually maybe put Zap above Minions. That's probably my the bottom row at the moment, not toxic at all. I'd say Archers are probably still the most toxic in that category, but again, they're not really any of these. I don't suggest them as toxic. Mortar is sometimes toxic. I'd actually put that above the Knight. I think that the Mortar, just when you place at the bridge, spamming, especially the evolved mortar. By the way, the evolutions count as separate, so, we're not counting that specifically. But this thing, you just place at the bridge, shoots across the tower. I mean, sometimes it's so annoying to deal with when it locks on. It's like you gotta have to overcommit to defeat that, and it's just really annoying card. And this is now going to be Tesla. I think Tesla's very toxic. I think it's a toxic building, a building that hides. Like, imagine a card, a coward card that goes underground and hides. I mean, are we being for real? Very toxic. And I told you the games earlier. Check your last comments. Local Warfare and Battle of Agents. Those are the games. Okay, I see, Alexa. W suggestions. And sorry for being here for a little. You have football training. No problem, XX Gunners. I don't know why I keep adding an extra X. See you at the El Clasico stream, hopefully. Otherwise, have a nice training. And, yeah, W's for training. And Barbarians. Barbarians are light. They're light here. I don't think they're toxic. They're not toxic. Okay, Minion Horde. Minion Horde is, again, probably low on the list. I say it's probably in rarely toxic, just at the bottom. I think it can be a bit more toxic than Minions. I think Minions by themselves they're just more of a cycle. You place them to defend. They're not really toxic. Rascals. I think Rascals are trash, in my opinion. I think that they are a useless and pathetic card, hence why they are going to here. I think maybe in front of Barbarians. I think Barbarians are a bit more useless. Rascals are pretty useless. They're not really toxic. And yeah, they're going to go here. And by the way, guys, again, just going to repeat this. If you have any disagreements with what I've ranked so far, if you follow Clash Royale, then do let me know where you think a card should be instead, and I might consider moving it. Royal Giant, get to the top of very toxic, man. Get up there. Absolutely disgraceful. Not even going to explain that. A giant that shoots a cannon from range at the tower and does increase damage as well. E-Barbs. I don't think E-Barbs are... I would have put E-Barbs in Smash My Monitor earlier, earlier in the lifespan of Clash Royale. Modern day Clash Royale, E-Barbs they're just toxic. They're like the set piece for toxic. They're not very toxic. I'd say they're just like, the default toxic. Everyone compares... What's the baseline for being a toxic card? I would say E-Barbs are what you would call a base toxic card, if anything. Royal Recruits, on the other hand, are probably in the very toxic category, just below Tesla. I do think that they're not as toxic as Tesla because Tesla does hide and it's a coward. But Royal Recruits, I do think are, you know, on the bottom of this row, definitely more toxic than E-Barbs, than Royal Delivery, than Goblin Gang. And all you know is if they play Arahu, he will make a mistake and we will win. I mean, W's, yeah, Alexa. W's. We'll win the El Clasico, I'm sure. And is this short stream? You'll send you friend request on Roblox. Okay, sure. I haven't actually played Roblox in a while now, like I think a week. So yeah, I might accept it. I don't really go on outside the streams though. Heal Spirit. Heal Spirit. Where do I put you? I put you in rarely no, I don't even I think this is not a toxic card, to be honest. I don't think you can call that a toxic card. And hi PTK, welcome to stream. Hope you're doing good. And yeah, W's Hala Madrid. Exactly. We're going to win the El Clasico. We're in the kit already. And you were Doomsbow09. Okay, Swank. I'll remember that. And who the hello is Owen? Someone on the stream? I don't know. Ice Golem. Okay, Ice Golem, I think is going to go... Where do I put you? I actually like using Ice Golem, but I do think it's a pretty toxic card. I'd say bottom of... I'd say top of sometimes toxic or bottom of toxic. I'm probably going to put it at the bottom of toxic because it's not sometimes toxic. It's most of the time is toxic. You know, when you place in front of a hog, you place in front of bats, you just have to overcommit to it. It's really annoying. But yeah. Suspicious Bush. It's not. Actually, you know, when you spam this thing, I might actually put it rarely toxic at the top. It's only when you spam it in specific, you know, really troll decks. Otherwise, it's not toxic at all. I don't think this card's, you know, hard to counter. It's pretty easy. And when is the Minecraft stream? You can check the pre-streams, then you can see where the Minecraft stream is. Swank. This is going to be now Mega Minion. Yeah, I think Mega Minion's less toxic than Giant Snowball. I think that card's pretty underutilized. I do see it kind of a bit in higher ladder. You don't really see it much in low ladder. I think that the card's easy to counter. You know, a lot of counters to it. And I think that it's not toxic at all. I think if someone places them, it's like, okay, just counter it. Dark Goblin. I'm going to put Dark Goblin in sometimes toxic at the top. I think that it's definitely less toxic than, you know, Ice Golem, Royal Delivery, Goblin Gang, Elite Barbs. I think it's definitely more toxic than Mortar. I might actually change Knight. I might put Knight above Mortar, I think. I think Dark Goblin's more toxic than Knight, but I don't think it's not toxic. It's just sometimes, you know, you get a Dark Goblin on the bridge connection. It's just really annoying to deal with. And I hope you'll pull out a fancy and get revenge 5-1 Madrid. I mean, that would be insane, Alexa, if that happened, which would be a W, you know, that would be a W stream. Okay, Tombstone. I will put you at the... I'll put Tombstone. I think it's more toxic than Snowball, but it's basically not toxic at all. I could actually do that, I think. No, I'll put Heal Spirit in front of it. I think Tombstone's not really. It's just a meh. Counter it. Earthquake. Earthquake is a toxic spell, I gotta say. It's less toxic than Royal Delivery. I think it's probably here. I think that Earthquake, whenever you Earthquake a building, I mean, it's committing just for buildings, but I do think that it's a toxic in the way that you build your push-up, you build your defense up, you got the cannon, you got some other troops there on the side, you place a couple of skeletons, Earthquake can wipe out the whole thing, and, you know, the win condition can lock onto the tower, so that's really annoying in most instances there. That's why it's not really in sometimes toxic, it's in, you know, toxic as a baseline. Valkyrie can go here. No explanation needed. Actually, I'll put it here because the evolution one's a little bit more below Royal Giant, I would argue. And can you not be visitor? Alexa will be your supervisor. As I said, Swank on the Minecraft stream. We'll deal with the Minecraft stuff, guys, on the Minecraft stream. I promise you. And I know we are not racist, but will you allow a Barca fan to come to the Clasico stream? I don't think being a fan of another club is racist. That's only if you make fun of someone's skin color or, you know, where they're from. I don't think that's, you know, being racist. But second of all, no, they can come on the stream. I don't care as long as they're not saying, like, swear words or whatever. Friendly competition's always healthy. Musketeer. I think it's here, below Knight. I think it's sometimes toxic. Not always. I think it's definitely a meh toxic. You know, occasionally it can be really annoying to deal with at the back. It just sits there, but Fireball always cleans it up. Mini P.E.K.K.A. I don't think Mini P.E.K.K.A. is toxic, to be honest. I think that it can get a lot of hits. It can deal a lot of damage, but I don't think anyone complains about Mini P.E.K.K.A. I think it's more toxic than a Skeleton Barrel. It's less toxic than Berserker. I think it's in the middle there again. It's just that sort of base card. And yeah, Mini P.E.K.K.A. will go there above Skeleton Barrel, below Berserker. Okay, Hog Rider, get at the top. Okay, Zappies. Zappies can go at the bottom here. I don't actually, you know what, Zappies are kind of annoying to deal with sometimes. I gotta say, if you get a lot of Zappies on the board, they're zapping away, you know, stunning your troops. I think that can definitely be more annoying than the Suspicious Bush, so probably at the top of rarely toxic. And Swank is racist, and he is a Barca fan. Okay, I don't think, if, first of all, that's not good, Swank, if you're racist. Second of all, I don't think they're really related to, you know, each other. And, okay, yeah, the accusations come out if you run off. Flying Machine. Okay, Flying Machine is going to go into not toxic at all. I think it's below Archers, actually. I think it's definitely not that toxic. I might move Zap up to the top here. I might do that. I think that Zap's a little bit more annoying to deal with. Just occasional Zap on stuff. It really is annoying. I think arrows just don't make it to the, you know, up here in the not toxic at all category at the top. I don't think they're as annoying. And you're not racist, okay. I believe you, Swank. Okay, Barb. What am I going to say? Battle Ram. Why did I say Barb something? I was going to say Barb Launcher. But Battle Ram here. I think Battle Ram is... It's not. It's not. It's rarely toxic. It's actually not. It's not even toxic at all. I would argue putting the Battle Ram maybe below the Flying Machine. I think Flying Machine's sometimes more annoying. Okay, Dino, give us a brother's question quiz to check if we are related. I don't know what I could really ask. Like, what's something that you know that about Swank that you know you'll find to share on stream? Then I guess Battle Healer. Where do I put this? It's just such a useless card that it's actually hard to put as toxic. It's just such a useless card. Sometimes. I'll put it at the top of sometimes. That's the max I'm going. I'm not putting it higher. It's such a pathetic card. Goblin Demolisher, get at the bottom of the list. You're not actually... Bottom of this one, I'd say. It's rarely toxic, but it sometimes is occasionally when it runs onto the tower and blows up. Now we got this Spear Hut. Goblin Spears Hut. I'm going to put that in, I think, just the bottom of this. I think the buildings just go at the bottom of this. I don't think this is really toxic at all. Bomb Tower is annoying. I know Bomb Tower is annoying. That is going to go here. I think it's below Ice Golem. It's definitely more toxic than these three. You could actually argue Cannon's probably more toxic, but I'm going to put Bomb Tower there. It's just such an annoying building to deal with the bomb, the splash, especially if you play splash, you know, decks with a lot of swarm cards. Just the splash damage, and then the explosion at the end really mops up a lot of stuff. And Hyron, you missed a lot. No, you didn't. You've still got half of the game here left, so, you know, only the start part. Again, as well, if you want to change something, guys, do let me know, and I'll say, and I'll move it around based on if I think you're correct. I might actually change Cannon to being up here, and I might put Bomb Tower here. I think Cannon's a little bit more toxic than Bomb Tower now, thinking about it. Furnace, no, Furnace is there. Furnace is there. Cage is up here. Cage is absolutely up here. This thing is an absolute annoying card. I'm going to put that there. Just below maybe Royal Recruits, actually. I think that it's very toxic, more toxic than these two. Cage is just an absolute doofy card. I don't know how to really explain it. You know, when you're going all out on the attack there, they place a Cage. The Cage mops up everything by tanking all the damage. The rest of your cards attack all the troops that are attacking it. Then the Goblin Brawler spawns out, and he starts beating up everything. I mean, he's actually phenomenally strong, hence why it's in the very toxic category. And this is now Fireball. Fireball is... I don't say Fireball's a toxic card. I think that Fireball just wins you games. I think that Fireball is definitely, though, here. Because when it's toxic is when you're on 10 HP, they Fireball bait you on the side, and then they go and Fireball your tower afterwards. or something like that. And hi, Noah, welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. And he is 10. He is in 5th grade. He is very tall. He is our last born. He wears size 5 for feet, and he is toxic when playing games. Is that enough proof? Sure. I mean, I already believe you, so you didn't really have to put proof in, but okay. Giant. Okay. Enough said. Enough said about Giant. Giant needs to get up there. Wizard. Wizard's pretty pathetic card, I gotta say. It's sometimes toxic. I actually think it's above Battle Healer. Yeah, I think that it's definitely annoying when you get the Wizard behind and it starts, you know, killing all your troops that are attacking like a win condition, and then it starts attacking the tower, you know. That is annoying. But I do think it's not toxic. Pigs at the top of here, just below E-Bobs. Yep, definitely toxic. Not all the time. Very toxic. They're just baseline. You know, when you see that, that's annoying. Inferno Tower. I think Inferno Tower is actually high toxic. I would probably put Inferno Tower actually just below Pigs. I think that's definitely more toxic than Cannon and Bomb Tower. It's just such an annoying card to deal with high HP characters, you know. And what did you say here, Ron? I don't know why, but it feels like the Halloween spirit is kind of going away because not many people are talking about their costumes and decorations. I don't know, to be honest. Personally, I don't really care. Personally, I just kind of, you know, I'll play a scary game on Halloween and stuff like that. I don't really dress up, and I used to, but I don't anymore. But yeah, I'll still celebrate on the day, you know, special dress up, stuff like that. And can you talk about Minecraft this stream? I mean, the Minecraft stream is literally today, so, I mean, if you want, I was kind of hoping if anyone would plays Clash, they could, you know, sort of contribute in here, but it's all good if you guys don't play Clash. I'm teaching you guys the game. Barbarian Hut. Elixir Collector. I think this card is... I think it's up here. I think Elixir Collector is there. I think that card is more annoying than the Tesla. I think as soon as you see that at the back, you're like, come on, man. Come on. Why do I have to deal with this? Someone playing this? Because it usually means that this card, not going to name any names, but this card's in the deck. So yeah, that is really annoying to see. Whenever you see it, it's actually very annoying, frustrating, toxic card. You can also bait with it by playing that out. They think you got Golem, and then you start playing some other cards. I mean, yeah. Rocket can go in toxic. I think it's below Inferno Tower. I think it's like there, baseline. Can you explain what the Elixir Golem does? So basically, Elixir Golem's 3 Elixir. When it dies, it gives the opponent Elixir, but it splits into 2. And then when those die, they split into 2 again. So there's 4 Golemites that are attacking the tower by the end of it. It's basically killed half your tower. It's got around, you know, half the HP of a Golem, which has a ton of health. More health than Giants and Mega Knight and all that sort of stuff. 3 Elixir ramp for this card. And then you can also mirror it. And we're not even at mirror yet. I don't think mirror in itself is toxic, but when paired with any other card, I mean, this card is such an annoying one. You could actually argue it's probably... No, I can't put it above Firecracker. I think Firecracker's here, actually. Hog Rider second. I don't think you can put it above those two just because those are like the most... some of the top toxic cards in the game. Game idea. Your Friendly Neighborhood. It's a game and 9 Steam, and it's basically if Sesame Street got turned into a horror game. Yeah, you suggested that to me in another stream, Ron. 3 Musketeers. This is before the rework that is coming out. Not toxic. Not toxic. Just useless. I think they're actually probably a little bit more up here. I'd say they're probably here. Yeah. I think they're more toxic than all those cards, but definitely not. You know, Fireball just kills them. Mirror. I think Mirror depends. I think Mirror is the top of sometimes toxic, and you can't really change my mind because it just depends on what card's playing with Mirror. You know, because it could be, you could play it with E-Barbs, you could play it with Dark Goblin, or you could play it with Minions. I mean, it doesn't really matter. It just is sometimes where it's the case. It gives Elixir to our opponent. Yes, Sadgo, it gives the Elixir to the opponent, but imagine, right, this is when, I'll give you the best scenarios for when Elixir Golem's played. Imagine you're in ×3 Elixir Sudden Death, right? And you already have a full bar. You're playing your deck, you know, you don't need more Elixir, and then they just start spamming Elixir Golems at the bridge. They start spamming one, mirrored, cycle back, spam another one. You can't stop it. It's an instant win for the opponent. And then they defend with Firecracker at the back, you know. I mean, It's a very toxic card. You should, if you don't know much about it, please watch gameplay of it because, yeah, that card is a disgrace. Wall Breakers. Enough said. You guys see me playing them. You know how annoying those cards are to deal with. Probably below Royal Giant, actually. Rage. It used to be. I don't think it is as much anymore. I think it's probably just mid-toxic. I think it goes with its friend E-Barbs, you know. And POV Mega Knight be like, Mega Knight proceeds to body slam the enemy. Yep, that's why Mega Knight's got its own category with the GOAT Giant. Okay, Barb Barrel. I think Barb Barrel's just skill. I think it's just maybe here at the bottom. Goblin Curse. I think Goblin Curse is sometimes toxic. I think it's below Mirror. I think that Goblin Curse, if they place skeletons behind the tower, you go and make those into goblins. They take the tower and, you know, pairs with Rage actually pretty nicely. Yeah, I think Goblin Curse is an annoying card to deal with, but definitely not as toxic as, you know, like a Bomb Tower or a Cannon or something like that, or even Mirror. And, okay, Skeleton Army. No, not even close. Not even close. That's actually might be the worst toxic card. I don't think that's toxic at all. The evolution a little bit different, but that one not at all. Guards. I don't see guards as toxic. I don't see them. They're pretty... Actually, you know what? They might go above Barb Barrel. They might be there. I think in very rare cases, you know, when you're playing Boss Bandit, they're very annoying. Goblin Barrel, get at the top. That's definitely the case. Tornado... I think Tornado is actually one of the most toxic spells in the game. I think it will go there just above Elixir Pump. That is such an annoying card to deal with because it tornadoes everything together. Clone is useless in most instances. Very rarely is it actually got a use. And I would say it probably is more toxic than a Goblin Demolisher and a Furnace. Less toxic than... Actually, more toxic than Minion Horde. Less than these ones, for sure. And hi, Wallace. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Yeah, ranking the Clash Royale cards. We're, I think, halfway through just about. Okay. Now we got, what's this? Void. Okay, so Void is going to be at the bottom here. Basically, it's pathetic. I think it's going to go actually below Snowball. These three are slightly less toxic. And, yeah, W's. Vines. I think Vines, I haven't played with them much, you know. I haven't really played with this new update, Vines. I think that they might be, just based on what I've heard, they might be. So I'm going to put them just at the bottom of here for now. I think that some people have really complained about them, so I can't really rank them to, you know, the full effect. But yeah, I think that definitely I've heard a lot of complaints about Vines, so, you know, I'm definitely going to put them there. And W's to hear you're doing good, Wallace. Hope, you know, I'm doing good as well. So hope you're having a nice day. Yeah, Baby Dragon. We're going to put Baby Dragon at... Baby Dragon is going to go... I think... here. Yeah, I think it's going to go there. I don't think it's as toxic as those three specifically. I could actually move some of these up, to be honest. These three are, you know, base for actually being kind of toxic, so maybe I'll move them up. Dark Prince is an absolute fraud, annoying card. I will put that at... probably just around mid here, mid-range, a little bit more toxic than Royal Delivery, I expect. And can you ask a question? If you could make an Evo, what would it be? I would make Evolution... What cards don't have an Evolution that I like? There's Evolution... I'm surprised we haven't got Evolution Goblins yet, by the way. That's just a different thing, but I'm surprised we haven't got one. I would probably make Evolved Mini P.E.K.K.A. I think Evolved Mini P.E.K.K.A. works slightly similar to the Evolved P.E.K.K.A. and the you know, Super Mini P.E.K.K.A. that we had before, where basically when the Mini P.E.K.K.A. kills a troop, it drops a pancake, but it does splash healing radius instead of just healing the P.E.K.K.A. But, you know, like for the Evolved P.E.K.K.A. But I think that the splash heal won't be as strong as the Super Mini P.E.K.K.A.'s one, and it will be slightly weaker. You could also maybe give it something else, like maybe it gets a Sugar Rush when it gets a kill, like slightly faster, like it's raged. Why is Giant toxic? Because I just hate its design. It's nothing to do with the Giant actually being a card. It's, you know, if anything, you know, based on gameplay, I'll probably put it down, you know, here, not toxic at all. But you know, giant. It's just such... Look at that guy's face. Doesn't anyone just think the giant's so punchable? I don't know. Just looks like a goof. Hunter. Hunter is going to go in rarely toxic at the top, just below Zappies. When Mini P.E.K.K.A gets a hit on tower, it turns into a normal P.E.K.K.A and regains all its health. Okay, that would absolutely ruin the game. And play more FNAF games. You know, Ron, I think I'll play more CR first, Clash Royale, because, you know, I did really like Clash Royale. It's my favorite game of all time. And then, you know, maybe we can start cycling more FNAF into the stream as well. You like the Giant's design? He's a big bro. Okay, fine. I'll put him down at the bottom. Not toxic. He can be just below Flying Machine, I think. There we go. You'd really love an Evo Bowler. Yeah, Evo Bowler would be cool with the ball that bounces. Like, you could do it like the Clash of Clans style, where it bounces, does a little bit extra damage. You could also have one where the bowler, you know, from the behind the Princess Tower on your side throws the boulder. The boulder? I was going to say bowler. Throws the boulder across to the other side of the map and actually kills the tower in one shot. That would be a really good evolution. Supercell, hope you're listening to this. Ruin Giant. I think Ruin Giant is not toxic anymore. I think Ruin Giant is down here in the, you know, the slums. I think maybe just a little bit less toxic than Clone. Drill. Drill's not. I got a hard time putting Drill high when I think Drill's really easily countered in the modern meta. Maybe just there. Freeze. Freeze is toxic. Freeze is 100% toxic. And it is going to go at the top here, just below E-Barbs, I would say. Maybe Rage goes in front of it too. I think Freeze on anything is just annoying. You freeze something, it just stops everything, you know? And yeah, he's a little toxic. Okay, now we got Poison. Poison would be... I think Poison's like here. I think Poison, just because we can't put Mirror higher, any lower, because it is the pinnacle of sometimes toxic. I think Poison's there. I think it should spawn Sneaky Golems. Sneaky Golems? You think the Bowler evolution? Like, is that what you mean? What? Golems spawn from... Okay. Yeah, I mean, that kind of makes sense to what the Supercell direction is. You know, I actually thought of another card that should get evolution. Elixir Golem, man. How has he not gotten evolution yet? I think that he should be a bigger Elixir Blob, and every time you kill him, he just keeps spawning more Elixir Golems. Instead of multiplying by 2, he's by 4. So you kill the big one first, 4 regular ones spawn in, then 2, and then 2 after. So you got like 16 little Golem blobs on the field. Yeah, the Bowler Evo, that would be, you know, actually a good Evo idea, you know, spawning Golems. I think that's great. Speaking of Golem, I think Golem's probably here, just above Royal Giant. I think below Goblin Barrel, I think you don't see it as much Golem anymore, but yeah, definitely is very toxic when you place that thing down, especially with its partner here, Elixir Collector. Balloon. Balloon is not toxic most of the time unless you pair it with Lumberjack. Then it becomes a really annoying deck. Otherwise, I would put Balloon probably sometimes toxic above the Battle Healer, below the Wizard. Okay. Yeah, it was a joke. I know what you mean, Wallace. The Boulder should explode at the end and spawn a small Boulder Mite, like a mini version of the mini Golem. You know what? That would actually genuinely, you know, aside from the fact that I've, you know, taken off the idea of the Golems before, that would be a good idea, where the Boulder explodes. It's like a carved sort of Boulder. It spawns like a little rock thing, just a little bit extra damage, and it might also stun the tower. You could even do it where the Boulders stun all the troops and push them back. I think that would be a really cool idea, like a 2-second stun. Yeah, or maybe a 1-second stun even, just to make it so that the Bowler can last longer, maybe retarget stuff, you know. Witch isn't. Witch is just pathetic, I swear. Most of the time, Witch is just so trash. I think Witch is like maybe here. Prince get the top. Prince is annoying. Bowler. Bowler is going to go... I don't think he's toxic. I think Bowler's rarely toxic. Probably at the, you know, the latter half of the list. Maybe down here. Above Goblin Demolisher, I think. Above Minion Horde. Probably just here. Again, next to Witch. I might actually put that like that. That makes more sense. Executioner. I don't think Executioner... I think he's at the bottom here. I think he's there. And, or is it Inferno Drag, what you're saying? So go put your Mega Knight cutout a bit below so it's visible in your face cam. This one. Okay, I kind of broke that a little bit. Okay, there you go. Mega Knight's on the camera now. I think it is, yeah. W's. And BRINF, your IRL Mega Knight card to the streak. What the heck did I read? Yeah, that would be cool. So at the end it explodes and stuns for a second. Yeah, that would be, yeah, that's a W idea, you know? As I said, W ideas from me. And Cannon Cart. Okay. Now we got E-Drag. I think E-Drag is kinda, I think maybe in here. I think there. I think that's suitable next to Wizard, to be honest. You hate and love Bowler because you're playing Ram Rider, but also Bowler yourself. Yeah, I think Bowler's really that's why I put in rarely toxic. It's only toxic in specific situations, you know, when you verse it. I don't think it's like the level of where it's most of the time being toxic, or sometimes. I think it's just rarely where, you know, it's hard to counter. It's just annoying just throwing boulders on the ground. And do I have a Discord server? Yes, Wallace. In the description, there is a Discord server, W's. And yeah, you can join it there if you want. Giant Skelly. Giant Skelly. You're going to go up here. You're going to go below Pigs. There you go. You can go right there where you belong in Toxic, because you are pretty toxic. You could actually be very toxic almost. All of these 4, I think, can go on, or 5 can go on very toxic, definitely. I put E-Barb still there. I think they're the baseline for being a toxic card. I think definitely, yeah, they've died down after the recent, you know, current meta. Goblin Giant. Not the evolved variant, the regular one. I think the regular one is sometimes toxic. I think it's actually above the Wizard in terms of toxicity. I think there. Actually, no, I still think Wizard maybe overtakes it slightly. Wizard's just more common. You see it a lot. Get up here. You can go at the top next to this. Useless card. Okay, Lightning. Lightning is rarely toxic. I think it's actually probably just a little bit more toxic than Bar Barrel, but just a little bit rarely, you know, still rarely toxic. I don't think it's, you know, in a toxic sense when someone uses it. P.E.K.K.A. P.E.K.K.A. is... I think P.E.K.K.A.'s rarely toxic as well. I don't think P.E.K.K.A.'s a toxic card. I just can't see it as, like, the same as Mega Knight being toxic. I think P.E.K.K.A.'s probably... I think it's below the mini P.E.K.K.A. I think it's above Ruin Giant. I think it's definitely there. Maybe. And W's Wallace for joining. I appreciate you so much, man, for joining. Helping the channel out. W's. Electro Giant. Toxic. I think Electro Giant might actually be just there. I don't think it's very toxic E-Giant anymore. I think you could argue it is. I don't know. Do I put it in very toxic? I don't think so. I think it's just base with these cards. Otherwise, I might move this up here. But I think that this card is definitely along the lines of these at the top of this tier. Not really breaking into this next level tier here, where all these cards, you know, are really annoying. I might do a movement, though. I might move the Cage down below Inferno Tower. I think that might be the play I do here. Because I think the Cage isn't as toxic as I was making it out to be. Because... something down here is a little bit more toxic. If I go and find the card specifically, where is it? This one. That's more. And no problem, Wallace. See you in a bit. W's. Okay, so this is now going to be Log. I don't think Log's toxic. I think Log's not toxic at all. I think it's at the top of not toxic at all. I think you can't really make it. It's just doing its job. It's just rolling on the field, killing stuff. Ice Wizard. I don't see it. I don't see it. I think it's rare. I think it's not at all either. It might be more than Rascals and the Skeleton Drags, though. I think it's like maybe there. Or more than Minions, even, you could argue. There we go. I think that would be the case. Princess. Princess at the Bridge is very annoying, especially when you can't deal with it. I think that Princess at the Bridge is probably going to go in Toxic, just not at the top. I think it's a latter half Toxic. Maybe just above Ice Golem, above Earthquake, I think, as well. Not above Royal Delivery. I think that's pretty annoying. And is the stream almost over? I mean, Alexa, look how many cards we still got to cover here, you know. Miner. Miner. Where am I going to put Miner? No, I'm joking. Miner's not. I think Miner's rarely toxic. I think maybe... It could even go at the bottom of rarely toxic. I just don't see any toxicity in this card. I know it's annoying when it cycles on tower, but it's just such a weak card. In all, you know, everyone jokes nerf Miner. It's just such a weak card, though. I actually think it needs a little bit more of a buff, to be honest. Not Boss Bandit, Bandit. I think Bandit is sometimes. I think it's, yeah, sometimes. Definitely less than Knight. I'd probably put more than Musketeer, though. I think people are toxic to Miner. Yeah, exactly. I think people are actually toxic to Miner. I think it's not the other way around. I think it definitely, yeah, it's at the back here. And not higher up on this list. I think every card that I've put here, maybe instead of Barb Barrel, is more toxic. But I think definitely Miner should be at the bottom of this list. Royal Ghost. Current meta Royal Ghost is really annoying. And that's because I play it and I know it's annoying. I'm going to put that in Toxic just at the bottom, though. I don't think it really breaks past any of these cards. In my current deck, this card is an annoying card. And welcome, O, to the stream. Hope you're doing good. W's. And yeah, I do believe as well that the Evolved Royal Ghost isn't as toxic as this one, though. Doesn't really make sense, but this card is actually average, I've noticed. It's like a mid-ish evolution. I don't think it's a high-level evolution. Fisherman. Rarely. I don't think Fisherman's really annoying anymore. It used to be annoying. It's not anymore. Probably high up here. I think it's more than Mini Packer, less than Berserker. There we go. Lumberjack is an annoying card. Not as annoying as the Evolution, so I'm going to put the Lumberjack probably just below the Mirror at the, you know, sometimes toxic category. Again, it depends on when Balloon is in the deck, but Lumberjack by itself can be an annoyance to deal with. Not all the time, though. Sometimes I can deal with it. And Trouble Does YT, welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good and having a nice day. Anything that's decently high skill isn't toxic. Yes, I know. High skill cards, for example, all of this down here, I say all of these are high skill cards, bar Cannon Cart, I think. These cards up here, I think maybe Dark Prince I've done a little bit harshly, and Delivery. I think this one's a little bit harsh. I might move Delivery down. Yeah, I'm going to move Delivery. I don't even know why I put it up there, to be honest. Now, I'm going to put it in Rarely Toxic, to be honest. I think it maybe is over the barrel, just slightly. But yeah, I don't think anything here and here is not toxic. Here is not really toxic either. These ones are the ones that are toxic, you know. And hi, Rayandra. Welcome to the stream. I hope you're doing good. Why are we doing 6-7? Oh my goodness, man. 6-7. Okay, and Dino, do you know you're here, but you shut it up? Okay, thanks for informing me. Inferno Dragon? No. I think Inferno Drag's down here. Above Bowler. I think Witch deserves the sometimes toxic. I don't really think so. I think Witch is an easy counter card. You know, it's a little bit higher skill to play, and then also you can counter it pretty easily. I think in lower arenas, it's definitely more annoying. But in higher arenas, yeah, I don't see it going up any further. That's why I put it here. I think rarely toxic in the instance of being in a low arena. And hi, Cash, welcome to stream. Hope you're doing good. Also, Evos are on average more toxic than regular cards because they are stronger versions. Yes, 100%. As you'll see, I'll rank all of the Evos higher than their regular counterpart, except for the Evolve Royal Ghost. That's probably the only exception here. Maybe one other exception I might have, which I'll wait and see. Maybe Evolve Snowball, actually. Electro Wizard. I think Electro Wizard is down in sometimes. I don't think it's in toxic. I think it's maybe above E-Drag. No, below E-Drag, I think. I think it's there. I think E-Drag can be more annoying, definitely. And I'm doing good. Cash, thanks for asking. Hope you're doing good. Night Witch. Night Witch is by itself, you know, not including Golem, not including E-Golem. Night Witch is absolutely mid. And I will put it in sometimes toxic at the very bottom. I think it's, you know, worse than these two. Okay, Magic Archer. Magic Archer is never. I don't think Magic Archer is ever toxic, to be honest. I think it's going to go maybe higher than Archer's regular, lower than Zap. I think it's there. I don't really see Magic Archer being toxic. I think it's pretty easy to counter. You know, it can get geometry on the tower. However, you can, you know, avoid that by just having good placements, being good at the game, basically. Any of these you can avoid by being good at the game. So, you know, it's not the end of the world for if you see these cards in the game. I think Mega Knight as well. You know, we have a tier for Mega Knight. I think it's more just for the fact that everyone hates on the card. But to be honest, it's an easy counter card. You just, you know, you can actually activate King Tower from the Mega Knight. I think it's a pretty, you know, easy card to counter when you're high skill, high ladder. Mother Witch. That card is pretty annoying when you're playing Cycle. I'm going to put in sometimes. I will actually put it maybe up here. I will put it below Vines, above Royal Ghost, I think, for now. I think it's just when you're playing any Swarm deck, you see this, you're finished. You're finished unless you know how to do a good counter to it, outplay the opponent. Phoenix, no. Not anymore. It used to be, it's not anymore. I think it's now below Executioner, above Lightning, Barrel, and Miner. Ram Rider, I don't think it is either. I think it's sometimes, I think it's just at the bottom of here, maybe just above the Night Witch, because the Night Witch by itself is a little bit easier to counter. Yeah, cards that are liked are less toxic than cards that are stronger, but more disliked. Yeah, exactly. You know, you can see that kind of my list here is based around community opinion as well as my personal opinion. So, you know, don't take everything on this list 100% as my full opinion, because I have also kind of shaped it slightly around what others think. And that's just because, you know, if I put like Mega Knight down in sometimes Toxic, it doesn't really make sense because people absolutely bash on that card. Prince, I would argue you could actually put at the front here. I think Prince might actually be the most toxic until it gets more nerfed. I think the nerf that they've done right now is not good enough. I think it needs to be more nerfed. That card is just so broken. You can put it in any deck and it just wins you the game, basically, with, you know, if you know how to place it correctly. The Rocket Goblin, whatever it's called, Goblin Machine, Royale. I barely see this card, actually. I'm going to put it here. I don't think it's more than the Furnace. More than Guards, I think. It's annoying when it shoots a lot of rockets and missiles at you, but when that card first came out, man, that was annoying. That thing did like full rocket damage towards you, and that if that card, I had to rank that when that happened, straight at the top here, but yeah, it's down the bottom. Graveyard, no. Graveyard, I think Graveyard's a pretty easy counter. I think it's probably on the same level as Skeleton Barrel in terms of counter ability. Sparky is such an easy card to defeat as well if you have the right meta decks, you know, the right, cards. Probably around the same as Bowler, I'd argue. Did I claim the 6-7 emote? Yes, I claimed the 6-7 emote from Clash Royale. By the way, if you haven't claimed it already, do make sure to check out on Instagram. There's some like QR codes you can get for a wizard doing the 6-7 emote. I've equipped it just because I know it's going to be toxic emote. Personally, it is absolute rotting though, my brain. Spirit Empress. I've actually never played with Spirit Empress. I'm going to be for real. Only card on this deck I haven't on this, you know, list that I haven't played with. I'm going to put Spirit Empress at, I can't really rank it. Just rarely, I don't know, not toxic, rarely. I'm going to put it rarely. I don't even think it can be toxic. Emotes tier list next. Yes, 100% I'll do an emotes one next. I think that the emotes are a little bit easier to rank because, you know, there are a lot of toxic emotes. Like this section up here will be literally full. Lava Hound. No, I think Lava Hound's like bottom. Probably just above Miner. We got Little Prince. Little Prince is trash, not going to lie. I heard it's getting a buff recently. I'm probably going to put it here. Rarely toxic. Actually, not even toxic, I don't think. I think it's a pretty easy counter. This is a normal card. Probably below Giant, below Battle Ram. I think above Three Musketeers would make sense. Mighty Miner as well. I think it just goes in there. I don't think it's toxic. King's not. I don't see the champions being toxic, to be honest. They're just doing their job, the abilities. You know, you can't complain about a champion ability, can you? Golden Knight, a little bit different. I will put the Golden Knight up here, rarely at the top of rarely. I think that ability is probably the most annoying one out of all of them because, man, that thing can just ruin your day when it gets a good dash on tower and just, you know, knocks out half of the deck that's on the board. Archer Queen down here, not even close. Monk down at the, you know, probably actually lower than the rest of these guys. Probably there. This Goblin Stein, I might put that actually here. I might put that above Golden Knight, actually. I think that Goblin Stein's ability is really annoying to deal with. Especially if, you know, the Doctor stays alive, you can just absolutely lightning the heck out of the opponent there and deal so much damage. It's good for control as well. But yeah, definitely is a little bit more annoying than the rest of these champions. Boss Bandit, I'm also going to put slightly higher. I think I'm going to put it above the Bandit. I think it's a much better card. And I think it's also slightly more annoying where you can just use now the ability button whenever to get those double dashes going on. I think it's less than Goblin Giant, probably here. I'll put Boss Bandit. The Towers, I don't think that can even be toxic, that one. Cannoneer, no, I don't. Yeah, none of these. I don't think any of these can be toxic. It doesn't even make sense. And where do people get the QR codes for the emotes? They get them from so basically when you go on Instagram, right, there are some creators that have the QR codes. That's where, I scan the QR code to get the emote unlocked. But those creators are given them from Supercell. So Supercell hands them out to the creators, then they show them to you and you scan them and you get your emote. I might post a video of the QR code for you guys so then you can scan it today. I might post a 6-7 one so you can get that emote. But yeah, it will just be a repost of some other creators one just so it's a little bit more accessible for people because I don't think they made it too accessible, if I'm being honest. What's this? Evolved Skeletons. Oh, we still got the regular 1 elixir cards here. Why did I not put those in? That's not even in toxic. That's actually probably less toxic than all of those combined. I might do this as the order as well. I think that might be the order for Toxicity and the Tower Troops, but that doesn't really make sense anyway. One day Supercell going to give you emotes too to share with viewers. Yeah, exactly. They actually can right now. It's just the fact that I don't stream Clash Royale enough. So I might need to start doing it a little bit more, like once every 2 days, and then eventually I can apply for the, the QRs and stuff like that. And no problem, Yellow, appreciate it. And W's for subscribing. So love to see the subscribe. And yeah, you'll now be notified when I post that short. So I'll try and post it after this stream's done, honestly. I'll try and get it done. Ice Spirit. I will put Ice Spirit up here. I think it's more than Skeletons. I think it's more than Heal Spirit. I think it's there. E-Spirit's annoying. I think there. This one down here, I don't think that's even toxic at all. Goblins is just meh. Such a dead card. Bomber, again, meh card. I don't think it's toxic. Spear Goblins, a little bit more annoying. I will actually put them at the bottom of rarely toxic. And yeah, W's allow, exactly, W's. And W's everyone here, I agree with you. And Bats. Bats, I will put up higher. I use Bats a lot, and I know they are an annoyance to deal with, especially when you pair them with Ice Golem. I might put Bats below Zappies and below Hunter, maybe there with Suspicious Bush. Okay, now we got the evolved variants of cards. First one, Evo Skeleton's going there. It's not toxic. That doesn't even make sense to be toxic. Yes, I'll rate the Evos. Yeah, of course. I'll rate the Evos. They count as separate cards in my opinion. Ice Spirit, Evolution. Now, that is kind of annoying to deal with, but again, just a little bit more. I think I'll put it at probably... I think I'll put it higher. I think just here. Below Archers, maybe above Flying Machine. I think it's just a little bit more annoying than Ice Spirit, but it's just not enough to get into rarely toxic. Expo is not toxic. Expo, I mean, you can say I'm just doing... Some of these are based on community opinions. Yeah, Expo is annoying. I agree. Expo is pretty annoying. It requires some sort of, skill. Yeah, okay. But yeah, it's definitely... This is based on community opinions and my own opinions. So yeah. Bomber. Sorry, why am I saying bomb? Bomber is going to go into... Not. I don't think it is. The evolved one's pretty easy to deal with. It goes next to the regular one. I think it actually might be more than Barbs and Rascals. I think maybe that. I just don't see it going any higher on the list. Evo Bats. Evo Bats are annoying. I think that they go here, though, because they're just... I think that people don't use them enough to warrant going any higher. Evolved Zap just goes there. It's just a dead card. The Evolved Snowball is actually going to be lower. The first evolution lower than its initial counterpart. The Evolved Snowball is the least toxic card in the game, I believe. Below Skeletons. Sorry. There. Skeletons are the least, and then Evolved Snowball, and then Evo Skeletons. I think that the Evolved Snowball is, in some situations, actually worse than Snowball. I think it's not always worse. There's definitely situations it's better. But, when someone places it, you're not saying, oh my goodness, they Evo Snowballed me. How could they do that? No one's saying that. No one's actually saying that. Evolved Knight is going to go up here. 100%. 100% is going up here. I think there. Not Inferno Tower's more annoying than I think. The Evolved Archers don't go any higher than their regular counterpart either. They're maybe better than Magic Archers, but just no. I don't think that they're more toxic than the Archers. Actually, there I'll even do. And Expo is the most skilled deck in the game, not going to lie. I mean, you know, let me guess. TMK, BTW, I think you might be using Expo. I don't know. Personally, I don't really know what type of deck you are, but just based off the illusions that you're giving, Expo might be the deck you use. You know, totally your opinion. You know, if you're going to put Expo down at the bottom here. This is going to be Evolved Skeleton Barrel. Now, where's the regular one? The regular one I put here. I don't think it's too much more. I think that this card is definitely more annoying, so I'm going to actually move it up a full rank, and I'm going to put it just below the champion here, the Goblinstein champion. And you might. Okay. Expo is skill but annoying. Yeah, definitely I agree on that take. It's skill. It's sometimes skill, but it is definitely annoying. And I say sometimes because sometimes it's just, you know, you just place it down, wait for it to get locked on. This is going to go here. I think it's not worse than the Prince is more annoying than that. The Evolved Cannon is definitely higher than its regular counterpart because the Evolved Cannon absolutely just bombs the whole field. I think it's going to go bottom of very toxic. Whenever that card's placed down, you know, it's just such an annoying card to deal with. It just kills like half the field's worth of troops. Okay, Evolved Mortar. Now, this was one I really suggested being higher than its regular counterpart. This one is annoying. This one, when it gets locked into the tower, is an absolute disgrace to deal with. And I think that it does go probably up here along with the cage. I think it's more annoying than the cage, actually. I think it's there. And Evolved Knight's definitely more annoying than that. Evo Firecracker is Mega Knight tier, you'd say? Okay, I agree with you there. I was afraid to put it higher than the Prince, but I guess we can put them together. Okay, also, let's get this out of the way. That's going there as well. This one, the Evolved Tesla. Yeah, that is an absolute nuisance, but it's not as bad as the regular Tesla is just as good as it. It just emits a pulse. I mean, it's not that bad. End of the world situation. Evo Barbs, trash. Not even going to rank them. They just go there. Evolve Royal Giant. Welcome, Evolve Royal Giant, to the top tier. Hope you enjoy the stay at, along with the Elixir Golem, Hog Rider, Firecracker Prince. I mean, you're definitely more annoying than your regular counterpart by an absolute landslide, you know. You literally kill your counter, which is annoying. And what deck do I play? I actually make all of my decks myself, and I change deck basically every week or so. I create custom decks. I can actually tell you my deck right now that I'm using. I used it in the last Clash Royale stream I did. This deck totally made by me. I got 25 games in a row, won with it in the top arena in the game, which is, of course, what's it called here? Witch's Hollow. So we got Evolved Bats. Oh, I did kind of actually change it a little bit here. Wait, where's my initial one? Here. Okay. Evolved Royal Ghost, Evolved Dark Goblin, Skeleton Army, the Skeleton King, the Electro Spirit, the Goblin Curse, the Wall Breakers, and the Bats. Sorry, not Evolved Bats, just regular Bats. Yeah, that is my deck. You can kind of see it here as well. There you go. There's my deck. And the regular Princess Tower with that. And is your deck toxic? You're using Evo Firecracker, Evo Mega Knight, E-Giant Prince, Clone Ray. Okay, yeah, your deck's pretty toxic there, I gotta say, Wallace. Besides Lava Hound, I don't really think that's a pretty toxic card. I think that's down here. The rest of that, though, is an absolute nightmare. What the heck are you doing? Evo Recruits is up there with Prince. Yes, Arian, I agree with you. Evo Recruits, where are you? There you are. You can go there. You're more annoying than Firecracker. And also, welcome to stream, Arian. Hope you're having a good day. Evo Dark Goblin, I do believe, is more annoying than the regular one. I don't think by far, though, like the other evolutions. I would say that the Evolved Dark Goblin, where did I put the regular one? I put the regular Dark Goblin, I think in here, I put it there. I think it just gets below, sometimes, it's just below Toxic here, I think, maybe just above Poison. And hi Poppy, yes, I'm ready for the El Clasico W's. And am I going to push the 20-win challenge? I might try it on stream, honestly. I've actually, surprisingly, not really done 20-win challenges in the past, even though, you know, I've been, you know, an OG on the game since it was released. I don't really attempt them because I always am afraid that I'm just going to overspend money on the game and try and buy more gems to get more entries. But yeah, 20-win challenge, I will try and do it on stream probably in... Maybe I can do it tomorrow, honestly. What's tomorrow? Tomorrow's Monday. Yeah, might be able to do it tomorrow. And you'd argue it's not cards that are essentially toxic, more decks as a whole, like Hyper Bait and Mega Bait. Yeah, I do think that the cards in a deck make them more toxic, but some cards standalone can be annoying, you know, like some of these up here are definitely annoying by themselves. What's the game that we're playing? The best game of all time, you know, the game that definitely doesn't scam your money, Clash Royale. You know, I love Clash Royale, isn't that right? This is now the Evolved Valkyrie. Yeah, you can go at the top here. You can go above the Goblin Barrel. Go there. Okay, the Evolved Musketeer can go get sent off the face of the earth. It's worse than the regular Musketeer. Well, it's not worse because it's the same thing, just with an extra thing. But I would say ranking it based on its evolution ability as being toxic, it's not. It's not really. I would actually put it... Where is the regular Musketeer? I think I put it up here, right? No. Yeah, there. I put it there. I think I'll just put it next to it. I mean, I can't really rank it worse, can I? And do you think you can get high in Trophy Road or in Ranked using Giant Graveyard, Jinxie's deck? You know, it depends. Are you good at playing it? Personally, I just play decks, cards that I think I'm good at playing, and I synergize them together since, again, I build all my decks. But if you think you're good at playing Giant Graveyard, you've studied the deck a lot, you know, you watch Jinxie most of the time, you should be able to do a little bit better at it, and I think you can push trophies. It's all about, though, knowing when to place a card, knowing when to pull a card, when to bait an opponent. I think that's how you really try and strategize when you're playing any sort of deck. This is in general, because I don't play Giant Graveyard personally. But what I will say is find a deck that is comfortable for you. So if you get a couple of losses with Giant Graveyard and you've never played it before, just think, okay, maybe it's not for me. Maybe I'll tweak some of the cards in the deck, you know, maybe change it up slightly, make my own variation. And you have only 6.6k trophies. It's all good, you know. We don't trophy judge on this channel. You know, we all start from somewhere. Of course, I start from high trophy range because I'm the goater for this game. But, you know, some other people start a little bit lower. Evolved Battle Ram is definitely not that toxic anymore. It used to be annoying. I actually used to play it a lot with Freeze. But yeah, it goes next to that. I don't think it's that bad. Maybe you could put it slightly higher. You know what? I might put it above Flying Machine. Might go there. And High Clicks, guess what? You baldered. Oh, rip. And you're 3.6k, so I'd go. I mean, W still, I guess. Giant Graveyard has low skill floor, and you'd say like medium to high skill ceiling, so you could push pretty easily with Giant Graveyard. Yeah, I agree. I would also say as well, see the cards I put up here, right? Bar, I would say Elixir Golem and these two evolutions. Prince, I would put in your deck, just still because it's so good if you don't have Prince in your deck. I would always put the card that's overpowered in the meta in your deck, always try and incorporate it in some way. And for, you know, this current meta is Prince. And I think as well, the Three Musketeer rework is going to be pretty overpowered. So we might try and play that when that comes out in 2 days or so. You have 20k, hits hard. Okay, Owen. What do you think about ranked being unlocked at 15k? Do you think the requirement should be lower? Yes, I agree. And first of all, how does Owen have 20k? Just realized. Second of all, I think it should be lower because I used to be an Ultimate Champion. I stopped playing when they did that seasonal arena change. And now I have to go and grind the seasonal arenas to get back into playing ranked. Like, what the heck is that? Just because I didn't play the month before? I don't really agree with that. I think it should just be open to everyone. Or open from maybe, you know, 10k trophies, or you could even say, you know, 8k, 8.5k. I don't think being 15k, that is just annoying. It's frustrating. It's frustrating for me because I actually like playing competitive, you know. And bye, Swank. See you later. P.E.K.K.A. Goblin Giant was so toxic last season. In this meta, it was so trash. Yeah, I'm basing it off of the current meta. I'm basing it off of the community opinions, and I'm basing it off of my own opinions. And some of these cards I don't see much in my games that I play, so I just kind of rank them a little bit lower. Only exception is Spirit Empress, guys, because I have never played Spirit Empress before in my entire life. I've never seen it in the game, and I've never played it. Yeah, I don't know what even that card does, to be honest. I know what it's called. I know it's got 2 variants, but I don't know what it's like, shooting or melee, or I don't know. Is this the Evolved Cage? Yeah, the Evolved Cage is in very toxic. It is above the Elixir Collector. That thing is annoying. It just pulls in anything and it kills it immediately. You think it should be so you unlocked ranked at 10k, but you can still push to 15k for extra rewards. Yeah, I agree with that take, actually. Yeah, I think that take's pretty good. And since when was normal Valkyrie toxic? I'm just putting this based on what I see in every game. Literally everyone's playing Valkyrie. It's not necessarily about the card either. I think it's just the fact that I see in every single game just the Valkyrie, and it's like, come on, why am I seeing this in every game? You guys are actually playing it in every single time. I think the card itself isn't really toxic because, yeah, I can counter it easily. You know, you just play bats and it dies. And, okay, let's go Evolved Furnace. I think Evolved Furnace is just down here. It's not good anymore. I think it's next to the regular one. It's slightly more annoying. Actually, I might put it slightly higher. I think over Bowler. I think it's more annoying where it spams them, but yeah. Bowler has aura. I agree. Bowler has aura. How many trophies am I? I'm only like 500 trophies off of getting ranked unlocked again. But again, I used to play before this stupid seasonal arena thing. I had Ultimate Champion basically. I think I was the one below Ultimate Champion, but I was like 3 steps off of getting Ultimate Champion. So, you know, basically there. But yeah. And Swank, can you please not spam? Please. Otherwise, I'll ask Side Go to time you out. Okay. Evolved Wizard. Evo Wizard. Same. Just not even really different. And why did I put Evo Firecracker in the Mega Knight rank? I was asked to. I originally had it here, but, you know, I put it with Mega Knight because why not? M4RK. It's like Mark or M4RK. W's, welcome to stream, by the way. Sorry about the spam there, guys. Don't worry, mods will deal with that. Okay. Wall Breakers. Evolution variant. Just there. I think it's not as bad as Royal Giant, I think. The Evolved Skeleton Army is definitely not like here. I think it's actually in rarely toxic because that card, when it splits up, it can just take your old tower immediately. It's such a frustrating card to deal with as well. If you can, you know, defend nicely. So I might put the Evo Skami here, just above Minor. Swank trying to rage bait. Yeah, I don't know. How old is Swank? Probably like 2. Okay, this is going to be now Evolved Goblin Barrel. I don't think it's that different compared to regular Goblin Barrel. I might have been actually too harsh on Valk. Now thinking about it, I might put Valk at the bottom here. Just above the cannon. I think it's a bit, you know, not up to the standard with those other cards. He's actually 11. What the heck? I mean, that doesn't really make sense based on, you know, how he was typing stuff in chat. Okay, Evolved Baby Dragon. Again, just the same. I don't really see much of a difference there. It accelerates troops, so what? Evolved Hunter. Same thing. It used to be higher. When it trapped it permanently, you know, in a net, that thing was overpowered. Man, that would have been higher. The drill, the Evolved Drill's worse. I actually think the Evolved Drill's near the bottom of the list. It's worse than the regular drill. Below the Cannoneer. Sorry, the Cannon Cart. I think it's there. Okay, Evolved Witch, just next to it. Evo Exy. I think it's more annoying. It's definitely not as bad, though. Whereas Executioner regular. Where did I put you, my friend? Executioner there. I think it's probably just a little bit above, maybe above the Goblin Machine, around the same, you know, area there. Okay. And now this is going to be Evolved E-Drag. Evolved E-Drag. I think I'll put Evolved E-Drag. Where's regular E-Drag? There. Just next to it. It's not even that. It's just meh. Evo, which deserves to be higher, just doesn't die. I mean, okay. I guess I can maybe put it... Where do you think it should go then? Do you think it should go sometimes toxic, or do you think it goes toxic? Personally, when I'm dealing with it, I kill it every time. I just go straight away. I just place bats while it's distracted by like a ice golem or something and just dies immediately. I might put maybe in here toxic then, I guess. Sometimes toxic? Okay. I'll probably put next to the Evolved Wizard, actually. It's probably better than the Evolved Wizard in terms of being annoying. Boss Bandit gotta be more toxic? Okay. Where should we put it? Just toxic, I guess? I think... Do you think Boss Bandit's more toxic than the Cage? I think it is. I think it might be here. I think if we put the Boss Bandit there, I think the Evo Witch definitely there. I think it's sometimes toxic just because of the fact that I think it's pretty easy to counter. You guys think it's pretty toxic. I think if we balance it out in between, you know, this one and this one, I think it's, you know, mid-range here, probably higher tier, and very toxic mid-ladder. Okay, fair enough. You know, most of these cards up here I can counter. Probably the more annoying cards, actually, I gotta say that I've ranked lower is Giant Skelly. I think he could probably be higher. And probably switch places with Valk. I might do that, actually. Switch their places. I don't think that Valk's that hard to counter, actually. I think Giant Skelly's probably higher here. More toxic than Cage, but not Evo Cage. Okay, so we'll put it maybe... Yeah, it's already in front of Cage. Maybe we could even put it in front of Mortar. And Knight. I might put it in front of Knight. It's basically like just a bandit with the health of a, you know, half of a giant. So, yeah, I think that kind of makes sense. The Knight's one just deflects bullets. You know, it's not as powerful as it was before. What is this? This is the evolved Goblin Giant. Where is Goblin Giant regular? I think I put him in... Where'd I put Goblin Giant? I put you here in sometimes toxic. I think that the Goblin Giant now is just mid. I think that he's slightly higher here, the evolved Goblin Giant. I think maybe below the evolved Witch, below the evolved Wizard, just there. I think like that. Evolved Cage, did I rank that correctly as well? I might do that. I might do that. I think that's a better change. Evo Pekka's meh. Not even that toxic. Literally just, you can kill that pretty easily if you have a swarm card in the air. Like Bats. Again, Bats counter basically everything personally. That's why I use them all the time. Bats and Skeletons, literally the best two cards in the game. Evo Ghost is actually pretty mid. Not going to lie, just going to go next to the regular one. I was going to say actually it's probably below it just because of the fact that I feel like the Evo Ghost has less health. I don't know why, it just feels like it is. It's so toxic. You're saying it's toxic here. I mean, okay, maybe we can balance it a little bit. Maybe we can go... Maybe I'll put it here. I'll put it here. I'm willing to put it higher. Maybe I'll put it like above the Evolved Mortar, below the Evolved Knight. I don't know. I just feel like it has a lot less health. I'm using it as well. It just doesn't feel good. Maybe they need to buff the health of the actual Ghost, because I don't know. Did they change any stats? Might be wrong. Might be wrong. I think I am wrong. Evolved Lumberjack's an absolute nuisance. I think it's going to go in very toxic. Just here at the bottom. I think it's very annoying when that Ghost spawns. How long will I keep streaming? I will keep streaming until I rank the Inferno Dragon Evolution. That's how long I'll keep streaming for. Inferno Dragon Evolution. Oh, we got here. I will rank the Evo Inferno Dragon as just next to the regular one. It's meh. Most of the time it doesn't even use its ability, to be honest. I think it's just average. Okay, and hi, Desmond Tizia Chow. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Sorry, I absolutely butchered that name, by the way. Any changes you guys recommend, put them in the chat and I'll do the changes, and then we can say this is our, you know, collaborative effort right here. Inferno Drag is sometimes toxic. You think the regular Inferno Drag? I'm willing to bend to do that. Okay, I'm willing to do it. I don't think it's more than that or that. Yeah, both of them just go up there. Okay, any other changes? I think that the Evolved Firecracker can just go... I think Mega Knight just has its own tier for the sake of it being its own tier. Evo Firecracker at the top regularly. If I was to actually rank the Mega Knight outside of its own tier, I would probably put it just in here, sometimes toxic. For myself personally, for community purposes, it's up here because I know the community hates that card. But honestly, I do think the card is pretty counterable. The Evolved one's a little bit different. I think I'll put the Evolved one higher. But yeah, definitely, I think it's a counterable card. What else do we have there? The one time it comes across the bridge and your opponent puts freeze. Yeah, that's why I put freeze in. Did I put that in sometimes toxic, right? I think I put, or toxic, I put freeze, yeah. I think freeze is a pretty toxic card, not gonna lie. I feel like this tier list is pretty fair. Yeah, I think it's fair to a lot of people. Maybe we'll see any other changes. The Mega Knight is overhated. It's easy to counter, and you only see it in mid-ladder, honestly. Yeah, I agree 100% with that take. When I'm playing, I never am stressed when the opponent places a Mega Knight. I always just play Bats, just lure it with like a nice Spirit or something to the middle. Skeletons, full counter, done. And yeah, I don't really see it as a, you know, toxic card. I think it's toxic in the sense that everyone uses it in mid-ladder. Even where I sometimes play, I see it like multiple games in a row, but I don't really care. It's pretty simple. Even Evolved Skarmy can counter it, you know. If I was doing a tier list based on the skill level cap for some of these cards, it would be a little bit different. Skill level to play a card. The only reason Mega Knight is toxic is because it's always over-leveled and it's way overused. Yeah. And am I doing ladder today? I'm probably not going to do ladder just because I've got another stream coming up soon for football. I don't think most of you guys watch football if you're on Clash Royale. Maybe you do. Maybe you watch El Clasico. I don't know. But I will be playing Clash Royale tomorrow. 100% hands down, I'll play Clash Royale tomorrow. So subscribe for that. And hi CDF, welcome to the stream. Shout out for being Titanium T-Rex member as well. W's. So yeah, this is the full tier list. I don't think any other changes I'll make. The only change I'm still willing to make probably is the Vines, but it's because I haven't really seen it much. Because I haven't really played with Vines and Spirit Empress, and I don't really see them both in games when I do play. But yeah, I might actually move the Vines slightly up just for what I've heard. I don't like putting my boy Ice Golem in toxic, to be honest. Evo Larry can be toxic. Okay. Rarely toxic. I'm willing to put him rarely toxic here. Maybe next to Bats. There we go. I think it's toxic when it gets on the tower and just starts killing the whole, tower there. Okay, so that's all, guys. I hope you like the tier list here. Should I put the tier list in the, if you want to make a tier list, I'll put the link in the chat and you can make your own tier list and go post it on the community page as an image. See the save or download button. Click that. Post it as a... I lost my voice there for a second. Post it as a community image on the DinoDoomz community and I'll go rank yours in the chat. Ice Golem is in toxic. Yeah, I want to put him down here. There you go, my friend Ice Golem. I love you. I love Ice Golem. My favorite card in the game ever. He's literally my favorite card. Thank you so much, guys. I'll see you guys in the next Clash Royale stream tomorrow. Otherwise, I'll see you in El Clasico if you do watch football. I appreciate you all. Link in the chat to go and make your own tier list. Otherwise, W's. Let's go. Sue! And see you guys next time. And I appreciate everyone new that was on the streams today. I really do appreciate every single one of you guys on these streams. It means the world to me. Bye-bye, guys. See you later. W stream.